Slim Doggy Steve here again in the continuing series on MyDogAteWhat. We are now into the how to read a dog food label, and we are talking about food ingredients. And in this section, we're going to focus on the macronutrients. So the macronutrients are protein, fat, carbohydrates. So protein is crucial. It's necessary for growth, for development, musculoskeletal, and immune systems. And as we said in our prior segment, the dog is a ancestor of a carnivore wolf and requires a lot of protein. Fat is the second macronutrient. Again, it provides a lot of benefits, essential nutrients, the omega-3s and 6s, which are crucial for healthy skin and coat, the immune system, kidney, and other functions. Fat, like protein, is a very important part of a dog's diet. Again, back to their ancestral diet, which was very high in protein and fat. So don't be shy to have a dog food that has a lot of fat in it. It's actually not a bad thing. It's a good thing. And then the third, quote, macronutrient is carbs. You know, we always use the old expression, what's not to like. Carbs are not necessarily needed by dogs, but they are a source of fiber, so they provide some benefit. And due to their economics, they are, very clearly going to be a part of the commercial dog food industry. So with respect to carbs, we say, let's at least understand the carb content in our food so that we can ascertain if it's if it's something that we should be worried about or not. Let's dive into the protein right now. So you want a food that has protein at the top of the list, of the ingredient list, and it's very easy to spot what we call good versus bad proteins. Now, we're framing this conversation, we're assuming that your dog doesn't have any allergies or any special health issues that would cause it to, need a special diet. So assuming that your dog is healthy and you've got, sign off from your vet, then you want to look for good proteins, which are simply named proteins like chicken, like beef, like salmon, turkey liver, menhaden, which is a type of fish. Anything, a named protein source, that a living creature that you would recognize. A bad protein source is generic stuff, like something called poultry. Like, what is poultry? It could be a lot of things. Chicken, could be turkey, but you don't know. And if the manufacturer won't tell you what it is, avoid it. Same with meat. You'll see often meat or meat byproduct. Who knows what it is? If they can't tell you, avoid it. Fish, another generic term. You have no idea what kind of fish. So again, I would prefer named fish like salmon or menhaden. When they just label it as liver, I mean, liver's good, but is it turkey liver? Is it beef liver? Is it chicken liver? How do you know? And what if your dog has allergies? So, assuming that you can afford it, try to avoid foods that have generic names for their protein sources. And then lastly, byproducts. It's a somewhat controversial ingredient. Our philosophy on byproducts is very simple, which is if the manufacturer will not tell you the specific parts of the animal that are used, why would you want to feed it to your dog? That's simple. And with respect to meals, avoid unnamed meals, just as you would unnamed proteins. So if you see something called meat meal, avoid it. If you see something called chicken meal, then you at least know what it is. Now, we are not the biggest fans of meals. We're not totally against them either. And the reason why is, meals are like, they're basically dehydrated or concentrated protein sources, which is good. They're high in protein, but they are processed. They're one more level of processing that like we say, we try to avoid as much processing as possible when possible. So meals are fine. We just prefer regular meat. That's just our point of view. With respect to fat, very similar analysis. You want to have named fat, so chicken and beef versus, poultry fat or meat fat. Tallow is very low quality. You want to avoid that. And then with respect to oils, canola oil and flax oil, these are very high quality, nutritionally, impactful ingredients that add a lot of value to your dog's diet. Conversely, vegetable oil and lard are not. So, look for the good, avoid the bad. And then with respect to carbohydrates, you look for higher quality carbohydrates with lower glycemic indices that, you know, will not cause spikes in your dog's blood sugars. Some examples of decent carbs: rice, oats, barley, sweet potato, chickpeas. Some examples of much lower quality, they have these things called middlings or mids, generic starch, generic gluten, generic cereal. Like, what the heck is that, right? And then ultimately, I put in big question marks here, corn, because a lot of people are down on corn. We aren't as down on it per se, but the big thing with us is that corn should not be a predominant ingredient in your dog food, because if it is, it means that the manufacturer is using it for a major source of nutrition and probably protein. So that's it for this segment. We'll continue the conversation. We'll dive into some of the other nutrients in the next video. Thank you.